I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Public comment. Mr. Burns.
You're doing me a favor. Can I hand these out?
Sure.
This is, as president of the Highlanders, I did a survey at our last meeting. It was actually supposed to be done. I did a survey of the seniors that showed up. We got shut down for our March meeting, and we just made it back August 19th to our meeting. And I did a little survey about what activities they'd be interested in, what would you like to have. Their summary sheet is there. And then where would you like to have these activities? So we're looking at their survey, had 17 people there, 17 seniors, citizens, said they liked it at the senior center on 15 Drew Avenue. One of them, they could do multiple choices. One wanted the center on Main Street and two wanted it at Holy Innocents. But I mean, we have this beautiful building down there, and all of a sudden, I know you hired the center as the senior coordinator, but now they have these little handouts, and I love Amelina, and I love what the center's doing. But on the front page is the Town of Highland Falls Recreation for Seniors, and on the back page, what would be the second page, because this is a foldy thing, the Town of Highlands Recreation for Seniors. So I don't understand, if the Town of Highland Recreation Department is running these programs for seniors, and they're having them at the center, which is all well and good, but my senior citizens, or the senior citizens of this town, would prefer to have these programs written or done at the senior center. And I understand that's the problem. Nobody wants to deal with the certain management of that building. And again, I think this is the second or third time that I've been here. It's unfair to the village taxpayers, who are also voters in the town of Highlands. It's unfair for them because they're taking the full burden of the total expense of that building. That's coming out of a village budget. It's not coming out of the A budget. The heat, the air conditioning, the electric, the snow plowing, the lawn mowing is all out of the village taxpayers' pocket. Somehow or another, hopefully the town, there's no money anywhere, so maybe we can get a bargain and buy that building off the village, put it in the A budget where it belongs, and live happily ever after. That's all. I just want you to look at that survey. My members of the Highlanders want the activities down in Drew Avenue.
Okay.
And thank you for your time.
Any comments on this?
Here's some time, I'm sorry. You weren't here.
No, I heard most of it. And again, so this is, you're right, you've been here several times. I thank you for coming several times.
I gotta stand up here on that.
Yeah, I was saying, you're right. You've been here several times to talk about this particular subject, so I caught the gist of what you just said. Again, I respect what you're saying. I thank you for what you're saying, and certainly we will address this. At the same time, when you say the total number of seniors in the town of Highlands, the entire town, which includes Fort Montgomery and Highland Falls, how many of them would you say have you surveyed? Just 15?
Well, all I did, I had that, we were getting 25, 30 members at a meeting. That questionnaire was supposed to be filled out on March
Okay.
17th, and that's when
COVID.
Como shut down the whole state.
Right.
So the last time we came back was just this past August,
Okay.
and 17 seniors braved the COVID and showed up for an ice cream social, and when they were there, they filled this all out. And if you look at the summary, I mean, trips aren't really that important. They'd rather have educational stuff and guest speakers. And,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had, Colin Schmidt there one afternoon.
Yeah, I was there that day.
After our meeting.
Yeah, I was there that day.
And they wouldn't let him go. He was there for almost like an hour and 15 minutes. Just answering questions and talking. I mean, that's what they're interested in. They, you know, they
Yeah.
go down to a Broadway show, they get lost, and you spend half a day looking for them.
Yeah.
Just and I'll never change. But, I mean, there's gotta be a way, and maybe the way is not offering them $1 for the building. You know, they have expenses, he's talking, putting drop ceilings in, he's gonna get a grant, he's gonna do this. As soon as we get the $10 million grant, there gotta be a way to just purchase that building, put it, have it town-owned. No more nonsense, no more, I don't wanna go there because of him, or I don't wanna do this because of them.
Well, here's the question I have for you, because when we approached this before, what we found is, like you just alluded to, that the building is owned by the village of Highland Falls, that there were a grant awarded to purchase that building, and the person that's the signature on that grant is the mayor, right? We've all agreed to that.
Yeah.
So now the question would be, is he saying that he wants to sell the building?
Well, I mean, that's up to this board. Well, first of all.
'Cause we can't take the
He
building.
can't sell nothing.
We can't take it from him, you do know
It's
that.
village property.
Right,
You have to deal with the whole village board
right.
and the whole town board.
Yeah, well, I'm saying he, because
You know,
he
one of them
represents,
there don't work.
right, he represents the board in this conversation. So we're saying the village board with the mayor, are they now saying they want to sell the senior center? Is that what you're coming here to tell us? I'm asking.
No,
Okay, so have you,
I'm saying if it doesn't start getting used, not only will it be sold, but then the seniors will have no place to go. It's a beautiful building, it's air conditioned, the only thing it lacks is a generator. It's handicap accessible, the bathrooms finally are handicap accessible, all fixed.
oh, we got all that done, okay.
You know, so it's a gem, but it's not being used. It's being used for, well, planning board meetings and this, because now we have to, what I've been told, and again, what is said and what is true, nobody knows. The grant, he couldn't do anything but have a senior center for 5 years. Nobody else could use the building. All of a sudden, well, 3 years in, he had planning board meetings and he had this there and that there. Now, they're gonna look to see, they're talking about, can we rent it? We're gonna rent it out. What are we gonna do? But again, I'm Fort Montgomery. I go there for free. It doesn't cost me a penny. I turn the heat up to 90 or the air conditioner down to 60. It's not costing me a penny. It's not costing anybody out of a town budget. But the village taxpayers are paying that. And that's unfair. It's an unfair situation. And I don't know why, I've said it 20, 30 times at this meeting, village board meetings. It seems nobody in the village cares. It's sad.
All right, sir, thank you very much.
Okay.
I have the minutes of August the 24th for your approval.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, so carried. Communications. I have a letter from Dorothy Torpy, who was the secretary for the building department, giving 2 weeks' notice. She will be resigning her position as the Town of Highlands Building Department Secretary effective September the 11th. Unfortunately, due to changes beyond my control involving childcare and my children's education need, my availability has been greatly reduced. It has been a wonderful and rewarding experience having worked for the Town of Highlands, and I was lucky to be part of such a great team and serve such a great community. I have made many friends here, and I wish everyone the best going forward. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to assist the transition and be any help going forward. And I've seen Dorothy in there, even though September 11th has passed. Dorothy has been there the last few days, and she's willing to help us until we secure another secretary. So I'll ask for a motion to accept the resignation.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So carried, thank you.
Dorothy was a very dependable employee. I'm sad to see her go, and she is helping out a lot.
I have a letter from the Orange County Department of Health. There are new monitoring requirements in the Highlands Water District. So, first of all, we might say, well, we don't provide the water, but they want a certain amount of tests on maximum contaminant levels, and I'm not going to read all the names because I can't pronounce half of them. However, we have to start the test by February the 25th, and then 3 months later, another test. So I'll pass this on to Pat, our water, and I did give you one too, Rich. I'll put it in your box. So we'll see that Pat gets that done. I received a letter from DEC, notice of violations. Did you get the complete list of violations all separated out?
Jamie, I'll talk about that when I do my report.
But you got this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted, all charted out and everything?
Our response has to be in by the 30th. I've been down at the plant with Jimmy. He's not gonna digitize it. I'll take care of that. You'll have it in a couple days.
Oh, okay, no, I just wanted to be sure you got this. I got this today. So you got it before I got it.
We've been addressing, there were 12 numbers on there, I believe, or something like
Okay.
that. We've been down there addressing it.
Okay. Now, I also got a letter from all the departments around here, from Orange County District Attorney. He would like to see us, he's recommending that we form a Board of Police Commissioners. This is part of the Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative. We've always had a Board of Police Commissioners, even though we technically do not have one right now. Since I've been supervisor, I've always made the Board of Police Commissioners the town board. With the permission of the town board, I would like to do that again and make the town board the Board of Police Commissioners, and if the town board meets, I'd like to see them elect a commissioner that would run the meeting, should a meeting be necessary. Normally, the town supervisor would be the commissioner. I can't accept that for personal reasons, as you all know. And so anyway, I would like to offer a motion to allow the town board to become the Board of Police Commissioners.
Okay. You need a second? How's that work?
You got a motion?
motion.
Oh, you want a
Second.
motion, so he's making it? I second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Did you make the motion?
No. Richie did, Ty
We
seconded.
have to.
Okay, so should you feel a need to get together and talk or whatever have you, that's fine, but right now, we're just doing this on his recommendation. Should any situations come up now, from this point on, in the police department with personnel or civilian complaints, et cetera, then be prepared to call a meeting and sit down and talk it over with each other. Any comments, Justin, on?
No, that's appropriate. I'll double check some of the regulations.
If we meet as a board of police commissioners, do we have to go through the usual process of
Yes.
making it available
right,
to the
'cause you-
public and?
It's still the town board getting
Still the town
together to handle town business.
Okay.
Yeah, this is according to town law, section 150, paragraph 2.
Yeah, no, I know you've acted as the commissioners before. I just
Yeah,
want to, if, now with the new legislation and the changes, I just want to make sure that there's nothing that you shouldn't be doing just to be in compliance.
and I told the chief about this also, so he's aware of it.
Good.
Financial reports,
Mind keeper.
let's see. Kelly, I lost your budget transfers. I lost your budget transfers. But I didn't really lose it, I got it somewhere.
Which version did he lose?
We have a number of budget transfers, and even though Justin doesn't like doing it this way, we're going to do it, we're going to do it this way. I'm going to read off all the transfers, as long as my voice holds up. I'll read off all the transfers, and when we get to the end, if there's any question on any individual transfer, please bring the question up, and if not, we'll approve it. Cemeteries grass cutting. From the highway department, we're taking $19,000 from highway garage repairs, so we're putting it to, I'm sorry, let me switch that around. From cemeteries grass cutting, which that was done in-house, and we didn't have the various companies come in and cut the grass. We're transferring that to the highway garage, $19,000 for highway garage repairs. That's because the office building is falling apart, and he's got to get it fixed. From the court, other expenses, to the court cell phone, $625. Transfer money to a new account for a cell phone. Computer contracted services, controller contracted services to controller equipment, $103 to replace an air conditioner. Compensation insurance to audit expense, $7,750. $4,000 was for a dial-a-bus audit, and the final payment, and that includes the final payment for 2018. Highway other expenses, the highway equipment, $9,154 for 1/3 of the backhoe payment. Sanitation fuel to sanitation equipment, $9,154 for 1/3 of the backhoe payment. Cemeteries grass cutting, cemetery equipment, $9,154 for 1/3 of the backhoe payment. Building consultants, building other expenses, $1,300 for code books. Parks, personal services, parks, part-time employee, $1,866 for part-time summer employee. That was over budget. Contingent account to highway, to town hall building renovations, $4,700 for roof repair, which was not budgeted for. Summer recreation personnel services to Row Park pool lifeguards,
$7,500 to cover the remaining lifeguard payroll. Contingent account to zoning legal, $6,000. Zoning board legal expenses higher than budgeted. Contingent to zoning advertising, $750. For zoning legal ads higher than budgeted. Zoning seminar expenses to zoning advertising, $300. Zoning legal ads higher than budgeted. Any questions on transfers, any at all?
So move.
I'll second it.
Second it, all in favor?
Aye.
So carried, thank you. We paid out $69,120 to cover the check run on August the 27th, 2020. The bigger items were Royal Karting, $2,655. Landfill, that was for landfill charges in July. Orange and Rockland, $2,614 for streetlights. Slack Chemical, $3,452 for sewage treatment chemicals. State Controller, $13,990 for the May court collected fines and fees. TAM Enterprises, $14,950 for the sewer dechlorination project. Rockland County Solid Waste, $15,443 for landfill charges. Then we paid out $101,044 to cover the check run dated September the 9th. The big items, Bass Business Automation Services, $3,420 for the annual software maintenance. CEJJ Incorporated, $3,940 for sanitation garbage cans, which, by the way, we sell those garbage cans. Doyle Security Systems, $2,946 for installation of intercom and access for the access downstairs. Global Montello, $2,432 for 1 month of diesel fuel for the sanitation. New York State Municipal Workers' Compensation, $31,880. That was for compensation insurance. RBT accountants, $4,000 for the final work on the 2019 audit. Ryder, Winn & Frankel, $9,518 for August legal services. State Controller, $5,665 for Justice Court fees in June. Town of New Windsor, $4,343 for July IT services. Rockland County Solid Waste, $9,087 for landfill charges. Any questions on all of that? Okay. Kelly, you got any comments on all that? No? No? Okay. As usual, I lost my agenda. Report from the liaisons. We'll start with the shortest one. Thank you. The shortest one, Councilman Sullivan.
Okay, well, you'll get your wish because I didn't really have a chance to throw together my long usual discourse. All right, so I'd like to talk first of all about the building department. And as I get into it, I'd like to talk about something that happened last week. Lorraine Warden from the 9/11 Center, the address coordinator, contacted the building department in regard to a road down at Pelwood, which is called Walker Road. And she thought the sign should be changed to say Walker Avenue as per their records. So I went to Jean Tolman. She dug through the files back to 1996. And it in fact showed it being Walker Avenue. That was 24 years ago. I'd like to thank the interworking between Regina Taylor, Jean Tolman, Philip Hanwalt, and myself. By Friday, it was determined from village records that go back to 1974, when Pellwood Lake was annexed along with Satterley Grove to the village, that it is indeed Walker Road. They're resolving that. The proper letters will be sent and everybody contacted to be updated out in the county. So it was a really nice working together effort between village and town people in 3 days to solve something that was around for 24 years. Philip Hanwalt, Bob can attest to this, has been working his tail off down there. How many things have you signed in the last week? About 100 things?
At least 150.
Okay, so the work is getting done. Dorothy was wonderful. I'm happy to say this Thursday, I think June said, we're going to be interviewing her replacement. And there's a lot of very good candidates. On the building inspector list, I want everybody to know that we have retained Lankin Tully from a couple of years ago. They have 2 people on staff that are both code enforcement officers and building safety inspectors. There are some projects that are just going to go right to them, and like probably Corbin Hill, Dunkin' Donuts, only to save Phil from being buried. They have the people to handle it. The money is there with Bruce's salary, and we have money in the budget for consulting fees anyway. So things will keep on going smoothly there. What other things I want to say about the building department? When Bruce resigned, before he resigned, I knew he was going to. I contacted every member of the village board to let them know, looking for their input. And I would like to thank Trustee DeSalvo, who did get back to me, and he said when we interview for the new building inspector, that he thought it would be a good idea if the village liaison to the building department was included in that. And I would like to do that, at that time. So that's it in the building department. I just want to say Philip Hanwalt's doing a great job. He was here Sunday, I believe. He talked to me on the phone Saturday for a while. He's doing a great job, and I want to thank him for that. The Zoning Board of Appeals meets on the 3rd Wednesday of the month. If you go to the website, they'll be meeting remotely. They choose not to come here. They want to keep doing it remotely, which has been very successful. Kelly thankfully has them set up where Jack conducts those on his own now, doesn't he?
I'm going to be doing this.
Oh, are you? Okay.
It's a public hearing. So
Okay, all right. You can go to the website, Town of Highlands website, Highlands Online, lower right corner, online meeting information, it's all there. I think the planning board meets the next night. I didn't check the website to see if their agenda is on there. It probably is, correct?
Yeah.
Same thing on the website. The Olga's group there, the Citizens Environmental Advisory Committee met last Thursday. They had a very nice speaker from the Clean Energy Communities. Carla Castillo was her name. Those people would be interested, because it's a little bit confusing, in coming to a town board meeting to discuss both in layperson's terms and other terms, community choice aggregation. I've explained it a few times. They know far more than I do. It's hot and heavy in this area. People are saving money by tying in, but they're new. So she'll be looking to get on the agenda at some point and come speak with us. And the sewer department, so people have heard the word violation a few times. Not to fear, the DEC, I want to say this, during this whole COVID thing, I called them a lot, because when the head plant operator resigned and we needed to do the net DMRs, there was nobody to talk to. Even now you call, they're all operating remotely. So we did get that taken care of, and some violations are written up, mostly for like lab equipment. One of them being our refrigerator not being cold enough, and I do believe Pat already has a new refrigerator down there, replacing the one that we had, for keeping the samples the way that you're supposed to. So that's being addressed, and aside from that, that's my report.
Thank you, sir. Councilman King?
Good evening, and good evening, everyone at home. I have a few things this evening. One, I'll start with some good news. We had a event on 10 September, based off a proclamation by the supervisor. that honored the late Miss Cora Matthews. And so that day now is in the town of Highlands, the Cora Lee Matthews Day, 10 September. She would have been 102, but as we know, she passed in March at 101. And so on that day, what we did, besides read the proclamation, and thank you Supervisor for that, we presented awards to awards for community service to 12 residents that came from throughout the town, to include West Point. And those 12 folks were indicative of the spirit of Miss Cora Matthews, and so that's something we hope to continue in the future. But that was a great event. Secondly, the next day was 9/11, a day that we know 19 years ago has changed the world, to include our world here in New York. And so in honor of those who were lost, we had a 9/11 ceremony that could not be attended like normal because of COVID and the pandemic. But thanks to Ms. Doris Lent, there was an event that took place that was worthy of honoring those victims. So what I did is record it, and we posted it on social media, so those who were not able to attend got a chance, hopefully, to see it. Anybody who still has not seen it, please let me know, and we'll forward that to you. But Ms. Doris Lent did a fabulous job.
Great.
And all the volunteers, it was a very small gathering, but very meaningful. And so you had the Village of Highland Falls Fire Department, the Town of Highlands Fire Department, the Ambulance Corps, the Police Department, Pastor Judy Ferguson, John Flynn from the American Legion, and a young man that I can't recall his name, that was the Boy Scout that read the Pledge of Allegiance. Colin, his first name was Colin, I do remember that. So thank you to everyone that participated in that event. Thank you, Ms. Doris Lent, for your efforts and your volunteerism on an ongoing basis. And she also mentioned to me that day that the beautiful grounds where we remember 9/11 was designed by none other than our councilman, Richard Sullivan. So I told her I would guarantee to give him a shout out for all his fabulous work, how many ever years ago you did it, because I wasn't aware of that. She said you did the design, you took the backhoe in there, you dug it up, you was a one-man wrecking machine.
There was a lot of people
Okay.
involved, but that's very kind of her.
That's what
Doris is a
she
good
told me.
person.
Well, thank you so much for what you've done and what you always do and you continue to do. But I was impressed nevertheless. So, that's that. And to continue right along, the center has sent me some notes here that Tuesday, 15 September, from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be student advocacy assistance at the center on Main Street. Wednesday, September 16th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., voters registration and absentee ballot applications at the center. Friday, September 18th, the National POW and MIA Recognition Day with the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 633, information and awareness, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., walk-in, welcome. September 19th, which is a Saturday, the 6th anniversary celebration of the center at the center, 274 Main Street, Highland Falls, will be from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. RSVP attendance by calling 845-839-0550. You must wear a mask to attend. Sunday, September 20th, 1 p.m., homeless personal care items delivery. Tuesday, September 22nd, free gift bag raffle for Town of Highlands Recreation for older adults at the center, 5 p.m. Tuesday, October 6th, student advocacy comes again. So that's a monthly thing. And then Wednesday, October 7th, Town of Highlands Community Coalition at St. Angelo's, 287 Main Street, Highland Falls, must wear a mask. So we will have another meeting before the rest of this calendar, and therefore I will talk about these other points at that time, and I'll stop right there for that particular department. Okay, now we'll go on to the Recreation Department. Doing a great job as usual. One of the biggest things on the agenda right now is Recreation is planning for a Halloween event for the youth. Very adamant about the youth having sacrificed so much, like many of us throughout this pandemic, but one of the things we see that they lack of is their socialization. So Aaron's been working hard to put together a Halloween event. He's put in a request with the village, and so it's still pending approval during their board meeting. We don't suspect that it'll be disapproved, however, it still is not approved officially, and he has got insurance done and all the other preliminary things done. So I just want the public to know that there is a plan for Halloween. Okay. We got some good news from the police department. Well, we always got good news because they've got a heck of a police force. These guys are fabulous. They're doing a wonderful job. But in particular, the chief wanted to recognize two officers in particular. Police Officer Monroe and Police Officer Markunis. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to read this on behalf of the chief. I would like to take a moment to commend you for the July 5th, 2020 investigation you conducted at the scene of a recent suicide call at the Holiday Inn Express. On this date, you were notified by the Nassau County Police Department of an emotionally disturbed person possibly armed with a rifle and residing in a room at the above location. While present, you and your fellow officer, meaning the other person that I just mentioned, Markunis and Monroe, both were there. You and your fellow officer, hold up. Assisted by the New York State Police, found the room locked from the inside and secured. Upon forcing entry into the room, you were confronted with a very sad scene, a situation where a 69-year-old woman had taken her own life. I am sure you are aware that suicide calls are emotional, not only for the families, but for the officers that respond to them. I would like to commend both of you on an outstanding job at this tragic scene. You both were able to handle the scene and investigation, all while making all notifications to me as well as other agencies that were involved and those that had responded. As previously stated, for families, especially when they arrive on the scene, with that being said, when a grieving family member takes the time to comment on your professionalism and the care that you displayed, that by far is a compliment on the job that both of you did while handling this investigation. I want to thank you for displaying that professionalism, caring demeanor, and being a positive reflection of the department and the citizens you serve. This letter, which outlines your actions, will be part of your permanent personal folder. Signed, sincerely, Francis M. Pieri, Chief of Police. Now, what he's alluding to is that one of the family members have contacted the police department to say that those officers should be commended because of their actions.
Very nice.
So that's good. Unfortunate circumstance, but good news for us to know that we got a very professional police force
Absolutely.
doing the right thing. Okay. And to Mr. Burns' point of earlier, I have to address this with our Recreation Department, because as I'm reading this document here, it gives some conflicting information. Number one, on the front of it, it says the town of Highland Falls Recreation for seniors. Well, first of all, Highland Falls is not a town, it's a village. So that's inaccurate. And then secondly, on the back, they put the town of Highlands, and then they list all of us as board members. So we just gotta clean that kind of stuff up.
Good.
Okay, that's all I'll have, Supervisor. I got like my battle buddy tonight, a little bit long-winded.
Well, I have a key fob for the front, the inside door,
Okay,
that it will not work until tomorrow morning.
okay.
But that's your personal key fob with your personal number on it.
Well, now I feel official.
See that?
Thank you.
Councilman Parry, please.
Not much, Bob, but just like, again, to thank all the municipal employees, town and the village, for their continuing good work, maintaining the vital services of the community. Needs are being met, reports and forms are being filed, the phones are being answered. Thank you. Also, we've been notified, and I believe it was in the paper, that the library has opened up their doors, and they have a new director. So if you have a chance, stop down and just say hi. That's all, Bob.
Thank you. I'd like to take just 1 minute to thank Ty for handling the 9/11 ceremony. Doris Lent called me up and asked me if I could help her out with it, and I said, no, I'm not, but I got the right guy, much better than I would be. So Ty, I appreciate you working with Doris on the ceremony. The other ceremony that you did was tremendous. I heard a lot of compliments about it, and it was just a very nice thing to do. So again, thank you. Even though tonight you outshone Councilman Sullivan by having a lot more material than he did, I got to tell you, he's been putting a lot of work into the sewer department and the building department, and I appreciate that very much.
It's a great town. There's good people working here. We're making it happen.
Supervisor, if I may, since you recognize me, and I appreciate that, but I would not have been able to do that without Miss June Patterson and her team. They did a great job supporting me with the service that we did for Miss Matthews. So thank you, June, and please pass that on to Leslie as well.
Okay, on the agenda, we got to set a public hearing for local law to exceed the tax cap. We've been doing this, I think, every year for the last 5 years or more, whatever have you. We've never used it, but it most certainly has to be in place, in particular this year, with the COVID-19 really putting a strain on our revenues. And when I'm talking about a strain on our revenues, our actual revenues that taxpayers would have to pay if it wasn't for the revenues, it's like about 65% down in total revenues.
Sales tax revenue is down about 26%, and other sources of revenue in the aid fund are down by even more than that.
Yeah. So we'll say 40 or 50% of our revenues are just out the window with the virus. So the board is going to set to a task of doing a budget, next week is or week after, pretty close.
Yeah, you'll probably have it by the end of this week.
And it's going to be a hard job. It's going to be a hard job to not use this, and I have this, a resolution to introduce and schedule a public hearing to receive public comments concerning the enactment of a local law to override the tax cap. The tax levy limit established by General Municipal Law, Section 3C. I'll ask for a motion to introduce this, what's called resolution, to introduce a schedule of a public hearing to receive public comments.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Councilmember Sullivan?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Perry?
Aye.
Supervisor Lucy?
Aye. So the public understands, we do a budget as best we can to keep the tax rate down as much as possible. I wish 1 year I could say that we could lower taxes, but I don't know if that ever happens anywhere. But anyway, as long as we can keep it, what's the percentage for this year?
It's just around 2%.
just short of 2%. We have, in other words, we can't increase it more than 2% over last year's tax levy. So with the problems that I've spoke about, we're going to try and not do that. But should anyone from the town like to come to the public hearing, which will be in 2 weeks, you can most certainly come and voice your opinion, and maybe you can tell us some ways that we can save our money. Justin, do you have anything?
I would just say that we've started a plea-by-mail system with the Justice Court. All the initial notices are out, so we're working well together, and that will hopefully do two things: get the backlog of tickets taken care of, but also have a few less people coming in and out of the building. So off to a good start.
And I think this is the first week the town hall has been reopened. And, no, first week? 2 weeks.
2 or 3?
No, it ain't 3.
2.
2 weeks.
No.
What?
September 1st. Wasn't it the 1st? Okay. 2 weeks.
Actually, at our last meeting, we said that it would be open the following Monday, yes, or whenever that was. So anyway, I just want to thank Town Clerk June Patterson for putting together a protocol for people coming in, what they have to do. The general public can get in the first door now. They go to the window, they express why they're here, sign in on a little sign-in sheet, and then if it's a valid reason, or if they can be taken care of at the door, we do it, and if not, we send them off to wherever they want to go. So it's working out very, very well.
Actually, what happens is I call whoever they're for, like, let's say Aaron will come down, or Dorothy will come out. Court, we send them right up the elevator, they're instructed to go right down the elevator. It seems to be, have you had any problems in the hallway up here at all? So far so good.
So, see, thank you. But June didn't get that on herself, because she checked with the other town clerks in the county, and which is, and the only reason I'm bringing this up, it's a great thing, having a resource such as that to be able to talk to other town clerks and see what they're doing, what have you. Whereas even with me, if I could talk to other town supervisors and see how they're handling things.
Use the resources you have.
Absolutely, yeah. Is there anything else?
Sir.
Nothing else? Kelly, you got anything?
No, but you have the town solar permit on the agenda.
Pardon me?
The town solar permit?
Yeah, we already passed that, am I right?
Right, yes. It was passed, and we have the permit. We can recirculate that. Town clerk, that was passed. so
That's my mistake, putting it on the agenda.
Committee know that. Okay.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all.